Jealousy doesn't start with hate. It starts with fear. Fear that somebody else matters more than you. Fear of being replaced, forgotten, left behind. And honestly, even confident people feel it. Because jealousy is one of the most hidden emotions humans carry. People hide anger. They hide sadness. But jealousy? People even hide it from themselves. That's what makes it dangerous. Jealousy quietly damages friendships, relationships, confidence, and peace while pretending to be something else. Concern, competition, criticism, just being honest. But underneath all of it, comparison. Your brain was never designed to ignore status. Thousands of years ago, survival depended on your position in the tribe. If somebody became more respected, attractive, or valuable than you, your brain treated it like danger. That instinct still exists today. So when someone gets attention, success, love, or validation you secretly wanted, your brain reacts emotionally. That's why jealousy feels physical sometimes. Tight chest, overthinking, anxiety, obsessing over tiny details. Your brain becomes a detective searching for proof that you're somehow less than. And social media made this problem way worse. Humans were never meant to compare themselves to millions of people every single day. Now, your brain constantly sees perfect couples, money, success, luxury lifestyles, perfect bodies, glowing careers, viral creators. Eventually, your mind asks one painful question: why not me? And that question destroys peace. Because jealousy usually isn't about wanting what somebody else has, it's about what their success says about you. When somebody close to you succeeds, part of your brain starts comparing identities. Successful compared to who? Attractive compared to who? Important compared to who? Your brain constantly creates rankings. That's why jealousy hurts more when it comes from friends instead of strangers. A stranger becoming successful feels distant, but your best friend winning, that hits differently. Because in your mind, they once felt equal to you. Now, suddenly, you feel left behind. And jealousy rarely says, "I'm jealous." Instead, people say they changed, they got lucky, they think they're better now. That's the ego protecting itself, because admitting insecurity feels painful. So jealousy leaks out sideways. Sarcasm, fake support, passive aggression, strange energy, secret satisfaction when others fail. And yeah, that truth stings. But jealousy isn't always evil. Sometimes it reveals hidden desires. If somebody's confidence bothers you, maybe your real pain is self-doubt. If somebody's relationship triggers you, maybe you feel emotionally lonely. If watching others succeed frustrates you, maybe you abandoned your own dreams. Jealousy can expose what your heart secretly wants. The real danger starts when comparison becomes constant, because constant comparison pushes the brain into scarcity mode. Instead of believing happiness is expandable, your mind starts believing everything is limited. Limited love, limited attention, limited success, limited value. So when somebody else wins, it feels like you lose. That mindset slowly creates bitterness. You stop celebrating people. You become emotionally exhausted. You secretly compete with everyone around you, even people you love, especially people you love, because closeness increases comparison. That's why jealousy becomes intense inside relationships. Romantic jealousy attacks deep survival instincts. Your brain interprets rejection like danger. That's why jealousy can make smart people irrational, checking phones, overthinking messages, imagining betrayal, panicking over tiny changes.
The brain hates uncertainty. But here's the twist. Most people never realize. Extreme jealousy usually comes from insecurity, not love. People think jealousy proves passion. Sometimes it only proves fear. A deeply insecure person may become obsessive because another person's attention controls their self-worth. If attention disappears, their identity starts collapsing. That's not healthy love. That's emotional dependency. And often, those patterns start early in life. People who grew up with inconsistent love become hypersensitive to rejection later. Their nervous system constantly expects abandonment, so jealousy becomes chronic, not because they're evil, because their brain learned love could disappear unexpectedly. And honestly, that's sad, because many jealous people secretly hate themselves for feeling this way. They know it's irrational, they know it hurts relationships, but emotions don't disappear just because logic exists. Especially for men. A lot of men are taught insecurity equals weakness. So instead of admitting fear, jealousy transforms into anger, control, sarcasm, emotional shutdown, or dominance. The emotion changes form, but underneath, it's still fear. Fear of not being enough. And modern culture constantly feeds that fear. Advertising, social media, influencer culture, everything pushes comparison. Better body, better life, better face, better relationship, better everything. Because insecure people consume more. But there's one mindset shift that changes toxic jealousy completely. Understanding that somebody else's success does not erase your potential. Healthy people operate from abundance. Instead of asking, why them? They ask, what can I learn from them? That shift changes everything. Jealousy becomes motivation instead of poison. But reaching that mindset requires self-worth that doesn't depend on comparison. And most people never build that. They build identity on validation. Likes, attention, money, praise, relationships, status. So when somebody else shines brighter, their identity shakes. But secure people are different. They can admire others without collapsing emotionally. They can celebrate success without resentment. They can love without possession, because their value doesn't depend on being superior. And honestly, that might be the real freedom. The ability to see somebody else succeed without feeling personally threatened. Imagine how peaceful life becomes when comparison stops controlling your emotions. Imagine admiring instead of envying. Imagine loving without fear. Imagine being secure enough to let people shine. That's emotional maturity. And these days, it's rare. Because most people never ask deeper questions. What insecurity did this emotion expose? What fear inside me feels threatened? What part of my identity depends on validation? Those questions are uncomfortable, but they change you. Because jealousy itself isn't the enemy. Unexamined jealousy is. The emotion is human. The denial is dangerous. And maybe the hidden truth about jealousy is this. It's not proof that you're a bad person. It's proof that somewhere inside you, there's pain, fear, loneliness, or insecurity asking to be understood. Healing jealousy isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming secure enough that somebody else's light no longer feels invisible. And that changes everything.